everyone. Thanks for hopping on here with Matt Kemp. I'll wait a few seconds for the Zoom to populate, then we'll go ahead and get started. If you have any questions, raise your hand, and I'll go ahead and call on you. A couple more seconds here, and we'll get rolling.
Sounds like class.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started with Thomas Harding. First of all, Thomas, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, first of all, welcome to Denver. And secondly, how long has this been in the back of your mind? I mean, you come in here, you rake in this ballpark. I know you know Chris Warren very well. We've talked about you some. How long has it been in the back of your mind that maybe one day you could come here and see what you would do here as Coors Field being a home?
Well, yeah, I've had a lot of success here. This has been one of my favorite ballparks to play in. You know, now I get to put on this jersey and play with some of my favorite players that I've been playing against, and it's going to be fun to be here and be part of this lineup.
Nolan was saying the other day that you guys worked together some during the offseason. And I don't know if you worked during the shutdown also, but tell me what those days were like, hitting with Nolan, lifting with him, and getting ready for a season. And maybe at the time you were doing it, you didn't know you'd be here.
Oh, well, just, competing against him, for the past, few years and watching him grow as a hitter. I respect his game a lot. He's actually one of my favorite right-handed hitters in the game. And, just going down there, and I can always learn. And just, learning some things from him and trying to get locked in. He's a guy that's, one of the best right-handed hitters in the game, best third baseman in the game, and, got a lot of pointers. And, he's just a guy that, like I said, I've admired and enjoyed playing against.
And last question of this group from me, but you've accomplished a lot in this game, went through his stages. Nolan said you were Mike Trout before Mike Trout.
Oh, man.
What keeps you going? What keeps you wanting to try this? I know that 2018 was a very good year for you last year. Not as much, but what made you want to keep pushing?
Well, I know I still got a lot left in me, a lot left in the tank. Coming up as a younger guy, there were guys playing at a high level at 35 years old. And, last year was rough for me because I fractured my rib. And, 18, I was an all-star. 19, I got hurt. So, I like I said, I still got a lot to give, and I want to play this game until I can't play no more. And right now, I feel like I can still hit with the best of them and do what I got to do to help team win.
Thank you very much.
Saunders, Denver Post.
Hi, Matt. Welcome to the Rockies. This is Patrick Saunders with Denver Post. You spent, I believe, one season with Bud Black as your manager.
Yes, correct? Yes, in San Diego, yes.
Yeah, can you share a little bit what your relationship was like with Buddy for that one season?
We had a great relationship. Great guy, great communicator, great person to play for. I enjoyed my time. It was short, but I enjoyed my time playing for him. And when I got the chance to come over here, we talked a little bit, and excited to be around him again and help him win some games.
You mentioned last year, I think you were limited to only 20 games, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. Mm. Did you say you had a fractured rib? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, fractured my rib, yeah.
Can you describe just how difficult that was and how it affected your performance, limited you, and when did that heal up completely, and where are you physically now? In terms of that, yeah, in all aspects.
When I got released with a fractured rib, so didn't really get a chance to, those 20 games. I didn't hit as good as I wanted to, but it was only like 40 something at bats. I think everybody struggled a time or two in 40 something at bats, but before I fractured my rib in San Diego, I was just now starting to hit a little bit, starting to warm up a little bit. And then they released me as I still had a fractured rib. So, I didn't really get a chance to do anything in 18. So it's my chance to show that I can still play some baseball.
I think Bud Black mentioned the other day, I think it was Buddy, or it may have been Madigan, they think your bat speed is still primed. that your bat speed is still there. You agree with that, I assume?
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't think no other way.
Thank you,
I'm
Matt. I
just
appreciate it.
You still there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm trying to figure out why people think 35 is old. Like I said, when I was first coming up, 35-year-olds were at the prime of their career, and you just don't lose bat speed just from one year to the next. It gradually happens, and like I said, I still think I could play baseball at a high level.
Great to hear. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
Nick Groke from The Athletic. Go ahead.
Yeah, Matt, what's up?
What's going on?
You mentioned this, and obviously you've done really well at Coors Field, to put it lightly. Do you have some favorite moments of hitting there? Is there anything that jumps out of your mind? And what are your sort of just general impressions of the place?
I think something that probably sticks out is I hit for a cycle here. That was my first time hitting for a cycle and my only time hitting for a cycle. So that was pretty special. But yeah, I do hit the ball well in this ballpark. See the ball really good. I like the background of the batter's eye with the trees. It's just one of those ballparks that I really can get locked in. And when I was struggling, if I was struggling at any time and I knew we were coming to Colorado, this was a place where I was like, man, I could probably get locked in right here. So everybody has that one or two or three stadiums that they enjoy hitting in, and this is one of the ballparks that I enjoy hitting in.
And then did you fall back into feeling that way when you arrived here, last week?
Oh yeah, for sure. Man, honestly, just putting on the jersey, being here, knowing some of the guys here, it's exciting to be back on the baseball field and moving around a little bit, and even being in one of my favorite ballparks. It's a great city. They're building a lot of great things around here that I didn't know that they were building around here. So the city's going to be booming for a while. Why not, win some games and be the talk of the town?
And then just real quick separately, because you've been at an MVP level for so long, and really probably should have won that 1 year. In a 60-game season, do you think they should be giving out that award?
Tough question. I'm sure they will. I haven't even really thought about that. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys. I don't know if they should or they shouldn't. It's a short season. You can do a lot of damage in 60 games and a lot of you can struggle in 60 games. So this is just one of these times where whoever wins has to start out really hot and perform at a high level in those 60 games.
Yeah, cool, dude. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Henry, Roxpal. Go ahead.
Hey, Matt, thanks for the time and welcome to Denver.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Whenever we were talking to Colorado GM and before the season restarted again, I believe he mentioned that there were some talks during winter meetings about you potentially coming on board, and then you chose to go with the Marlins instead. Can you just talk about what that time was like and maybe why Miami over Colorado at that time?
This was one of the places that I wanted to be in the off season, but I didn't know if it quite was going to work. There's a lot of hitters over here, and there was a lot of guys. Ian, Desmond, a lot of young great guys that are coming up right now that are primed and ready to go. I just didn't know if this was a good fit at the time. Miami seemed like a little bit better opportunity for me to get some at bats. That's why I chose them. But this was definitely one of the first places that I thought about coming and playing with some of the guys.
And then just to follow up to that, you mentioned Ian, and obviously there were a lot of dominoes that have kind of fallen with him choosing to sit out, the DH being implemented. Does it kind of seem like that perfect storm right now for you to join the Rockies?
I guess you could say. I think a lot of guys wish Ian was here right now, but he chose to do what he did, and everybody respects that. And he's a great player and somebody that they really admire in this organization. Me and him we've had talks. I've played against him a lot over the years. I guess you could say this is just one of those times where that everything kind of worked out in the way I wanted it to work out, as far as getting an opportunity to play this year, and the Rockies gave me that opportunity.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Kisla, Denver Post.
Hey, Matt, as a guy myself who just celebrated his 63rd birthday, I would definitely agree with you. 35 is not old.
Yeah, I know, right?
But talk to me about this. At 35, getting ABs, as opposed to when you were 25 and you were a young guy trying to get ABs. How's your view on that change, and how does that dynamic work? Whether every player wants ABs, and so you're the wily vet with MVP type credentials, and there's young bucks that want to show they can do it.
Yeah. For me, of course, yes. Everybody wants ABs, but I think if you hit, nobody can really argue about you getting ABs. If you hit, you're gonna get ABs, and having veterans around young guys is something that made me the player that I was. Being a young guy growing up and having a lot of veteran presence in there to teach me the ropes and kind of teach me like what worked for me and what didn't work for me, and kind of take what I could from those guys. It helps to have a good mix of young, great talent and some older guys around that can actually help and actually produce at the same time. So it could all work in everybody's favor.
Who are a couple of those vets that you owe a debt to during your career?
For me, it was of course Torrey Hunter, Juan Pierre, Marlon Anderson. Who else? I mean, there's a lot of guys that poured into me. Being in LA and being with the Dodgers, Davey Lopes helped me a lot. Maury Wells, Don Newcomb, a lot of legends that made their mark on this game, that poured into me, that helped me become the player that I am. And like I said, forever grateful for them. But they actually helped me become the player that I am today.
What important thing do you know, or one important thing you know now that you didn't know 10 years ago about this game or dealing with the ups and downs of this game?
Just for me, I think the most important thing is being a student of the game. It comes when you're younger. It comes so natural to just go out there and your athletic ability just take over, and it kind of shows. How great you can be, but also being a student of the game. Paying attention to certain things and studying. Your opponent kind of makes the game a little bit easier. This game's really hard, but being a student of the game and watching videos and breaking down different things, it can help you become a great baseball player. And that's something that Davey Lopes poured into me when he was with his time in LA. That helped me a lot.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll go to Thomas Harding, and then we'll finish up with Jenny Kavnar from AT&T.
Yeah, when you were on the other side, especially in 2018, when this team kind of broke through a bit in 17 and 18, what did you see from the outside of the Rockies? What do you remember that says, hey, this is a pretty good ball club, even though last year wasn't the best year?
I mean, this has always been one of those teams that we have hitters meetings. Me being on the opposing team, not to take these guys lightly, because they can really run up the scoreboard. They can really make some noise with the bat, and they've also had a lot of good pitchers. Gray, Marquez, all those guys are unbelievable pitchers, and Freeland. They have all the pieces here that can actually help. They have all the pieces here that can compete with any team out there on the offensive side and on the defensive side. So, I mean, you got Story, who's a Gold Glove shortstop. You got Arenado. I mean, there's a lot of weapons over here that can do some damage, and they all complement each other. Just getting that whole thing together and everybody working as one is what's going to make this team even greater, and they're motivated to do that.
And to follow up on some of the veteran type things that you're trying to give to other guys, connected with any of these guys that maybe you speak the same language hitting, or something that they see in you, they come to you and ask for advice? Are there guys that already you've kind of connected with on that level? I
mean, this team is. I mean, just this first week that we've been here is. I mean, all we do is talk about hitting, breaking down hitting, knowing each other's swings. I actually, I've studied these guys because I like to watch hitters, and I know these guys' swings. I know when it's on and when it's not on. But I'm sure as time goes on, that we'll learn each other more and learn even more about each other. I mean, I'm 35 and I'm still learning about the game, and I'm getting advice from all these guys. So it's like a team thing that everybody's helping one another.
Thanks, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll go to Jenny for the final questions. Oh, Jenny, go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Can you
There we
hear me
go.
now?
Yeah, we got
Okay,
you.
awesome. Sorry. Thanks, Matt, for joining us. We're with AT&T Sportsnet. We're the home of the Rockies. So this is for our weekly show, The Club.
Okay.
So I'll just have a couple more questions for you, if that's cool.
Sounds good.
You're talking about some of your new teammates and watching this talented group of hitters from afar, being a student of the game. When you start to look down the Rockies lineup, what do you see for them in 2020 in terms of hitting and how you can add to that mix?
A lot of home runs, a lot of RBIs, a lot of excitement. I mean, this team offensively has never been one of those teams that really struggled offensively. Playing against them over the years, they've always had great hitters. I mean, shoot, I forgot about talking about Blackman, since he hasn't been here yet. But I mean, that's another Gold Glove superstar that's on this team. There's a lot of talent on this team, and you can't deny that.
Yeah, I think too, when you're talking about now adding the DH to the National League, gives Bud Black a lot of versatility, you in the mix of that as well. Having 19 games under your belt with some success as a DH, what's the mentality you have to be a hitter only in the lineup?
I don't even know my numbers as a DH. Do you know them? I don't know them.
I do. Yeah, you have a 361 on base percentage, 21 hits in 19 games, 6
Okay.
home runs, so a little power there.
I'm sorry, I'm quizzing you a little bit. I was curious. I wanted to know, but
No, they're good.
the mentality is just you have to stay loose. You have to stay into the game. It's different because I was so used to playing defense, playing both sides of the ball. But helped me a lot. Learning when in 18 when I wasn't playing every game. Guys like Chase Utley, getting like pinch hit at bats or DH, just staying ready, staying loose, staying in the cage, and staying hot the whole time. Because if you sit around, you get a little stiff, and DH is not an easy position to play, but it's something that you got to mentally prepare for and study.
You mentioned your relationship with Bud Black, obviously as one of his players when he managed you with the Padres. You've faced him for so many years when you were in a Dodger uniform. What was that first conversation like with Buddy, knowing his personality when you were able to sign with the Rockies and add another NL West team under your belt?
Honestly, it was light. We were just talking about family and how's everything going. He's asking me about my mom. I was asking him about his wife, and I mean, we've always had a really good relationship, and he was somebody that really believed in me when he was with the Padres, and we've always hit it off. We've always had a really good relationship, and it's just good to be back here and around him.
I know you mentioned your relationship with Ian Desmond, and obviously not getting to be a teammate of his this year is he's decided not to play. But can you just talk a little bit about his powerful message in that decision and what it meant for you to read those words from him?
I mean, family is everything, man. And I think that's one thing that everybody knows about him is his family is very important to him. And, that's the decision that he wanted to make. And there's a lot of people making those same decisions. And, we don't know what's going on in anybody's life or behind closed doors, but, there's a lot of people out here making tough decisions, whether to work or be with their family. And you got to respect both. This is just one of those times that life is a little weird right now, and there's a lot of chaos and a lot of things going on, and, everybody's doing what's important for them and their families.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt, so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Really appreciate you. And thanks, everyone, for hopping on.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
Thank you very much.